check that sucker out. Woo! Fishing, baby, let's go. For the rainbow, keep this one for the barbecue. Kalamalka Lake, Kokanee, let's go. Reeling in fishing, Okanagan Lake, yeah, baby. Hey everyone, Rail here, Reeling in Fishing. Thanks so much for joining me. Please don't forget to subscribe. I hope you're enjoying this content. I'm enjoying doing these videos. For me, it's all about sharing what I'm learning out on the water. And hopefully it helps you enjoy our amazing fishery here in the Okanagan. So today's episode is about kokanee fishing, Kalamalka Lake in the Okanagan region of British Columbia. Shout out to my good buddy Mike Piccolo. We went to high school together. He joined me on this fishing trip. He was here visiting. We had a great time. This episode is all about the transition we went through from early morning to late afternoon and how we got chasing the kokanee. So we got into the bite all day, but we had to do some changes. We had to change up our depths. We had to change up colors. So I'm going to share those tips with you today. Thanks for joining me. Again, don't forget to subscribe. Let's get at her.
Rio, just another day reeling in fishing. Yeah, baby.
So we got into the bite right off the bat with a pink hoochie. So this would be micro hoochie that we're using, and we noticed also there was a little bit of smoke in the air from some of the forest fires around. So we actually were using a pretty large sling blade by Max Lures, as you can see, and I like to put a little bit of a bend on them, and that gets some good action going. So started off, got into some kokanee right off the bat with the sling blade from Max and the pink micro hoochie. After about 2 hours using micro hoochie, we're catching a lot of fish. They were pretty small though. We're marking a lot of fish, 35, 45 feet, something like that. But we wanted to get some bigger fish. This time of year, the water temperature is pretty warm, and we all know that kokanee don't release very well, best of times, let alone in warm water temperatures, especially at the surface being about 72. So we decided to move and see if we can find some bigger fish. So I have a Lowrance triple shot sonar, 7TS. It's a fish reveal, down scan capabilities. So really gives me a good feel for whether I'm seeing kokanee, rainbow trout, what depth they're at, and also a good idea of size. I also have a second sonar which I use for just the sonar capabilities, which is also a Lowrance HDS5. So use my electronics, located what I felt were some bigger fish, and I decided to change to the Apex by Hotspot. So, and one of my favorites for Cal Lake is the silver, right? Kokanee killer.
There you go, reel it in fishing. Let's go.
And so I set that up with, I used a smaller sling blade on one side and the larger, so you can see they're slightly different sizes on the other side, and just to see if the sling blade size was really making a difference. And it turned out that that they weren't. So the small or the large was the same, but the silver Apex really worked. So, and just, you're probably wondering, so what I do with the 2 hooks on there is, I'll just do that for you really quick now, is I'll put a piece of corn on each. Just kind of like that. And then I like to use the Gulp, Berkeley Gulp pink maggots, artificial maggots as well. And I will just put one on each hook. I like to put them crossways on the hook, kind of like that. I find that gives them a lot of action in the water, and so that's what I do. So the corn, check out my YouTube channel. There's a video there I did last winter called Get Your Corn On, and I share the recipe for my corn. So this worked really well, really quickly. We got into some bigger fish. We've got a spawner, which was interesting, just a nice sized kokanee that was starting to change over, and that worked really well for a couple hours. Everything was working well. We had our silver Apex Kokanee killer going, and then come 11 or so, 10:30 on Cow Lake, a lot of the wakeboarders and water skiers and just other recreational users get out on the lake. They start creating some quite a bit of waves, and also at the same time the wind came up a little bit, and as soon as that happened, we noticed that the bite started to slow down again. We also noticed that the as you would expect, that the kokanee moved down deeper, so between 45 and 65 feet is where we started noticing them piling up. Decide to switch up a little bit. So what I usually do when this happens, there's with the ripples from the wind and the wakes, there's less sunlight penetrating down into the water, and I switch to usually some brighter color apexes. And what really seemed to work on this day was the pink, right, Hot Shot Apex, and the orange. The orange came a little later. Started off with the pink, was working really well. That slowed down, and I think as the smoke got maybe a bit thicker, I just switched to the orange, and that seemed to work. A great day. I try to think about the sun, use my electronics, lots of colors. Having lots of colors, you can see I have a variety of apexes and hoochies and wedding bands that I use. Right. I also have a variety of flashers. That's kokanee fishing. One of the reasons why I love it so much. It's always something different. It's always challenging, and I learn every time I go. So hopefully there's a few tips in this video for you, help you catch more fish. that's this episode. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Real Russo. This is Reel It In Fishing. Please don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell, share the content. Hopefully it helps you catch more fish next time you're out. Reel It In Fishing, baby. Let's go!